Welcome everyone to our monthly State Street, Waterfront, and Upper State Street RAP meeting. I see a few new names on here, so if you don't mind, just introduce yourself in the chat window. And if you're with an organization or a group, what group you're with. My name is Landon Rank, he, him. I'm Associate Director with SB Act, and I'm joined by my colleague Kai Tilley, and we're going to be facilitating today. So just a few business items to start. Want to share quick calendar updates. Coming up soon, we're going to have, and these are a little out of order, we're going to have a walk on the Waterfront neighborhood. It's going to be on Wednesday, the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, the 29th at 4 p.m. We're hoping to sort of get out at that dusk hour, just to kind of see what the scene is like around then. As we know, there's quite a bit of activity that happens, especially around those hotels in the Waterfront area at that hour. So we encourage you to join us. We'll be engaging with business owners and reaching out to some of the individuals that are experiencing homelessness in that neighborhood as well. And then I'm going to switch the order of these two, but our all-call RAP meeting, which is kind of our quarterly check-in about the entire South County region, will be on Monday, the 11th of December at 12 p.m. And that'll be on Zoom. And that's just a good chance to hear what everybody's doing across Goleta, Carpinteria, and the city of Santa Barbara. And then our next State Street meeting will be that Thursday of that same week. We did want to just share, I think I've shared this maybe in our last meeting, but if not, we now have these business card sized reference cards for anybody in the downtown or east side areas that provide the phone numbers for different kinds of homelessness response. On the backside, it also has a QR code to the full homelessness response directory. And so if that's something you're interested in, I'm happy to give anybody a little stack of them to pass out, or if you just want one or two for your organization, I'm happy to get those to you. Just let me know. We've started handing these out at our walks. And with that, I think we'll go to our check-ins from our service providers. Since I see Bella on camera, maybe we'll start with you if you want to just give a quick update from the downtown area.
Sorry, I do not have an update right now. My colleague was supposed to be on here, but she's working with a client right now. I'll see if she can come by closer to the end and give a quick update. I just know she's getting the more up-to-date update.
That sounds good.
Thank you, Landon.
Yeah, thank
you.
you.
It's nice to see everyone.
So why don't we go to Christina and Mary with CityNet.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, this week was pretty productive for Mary and I. We were able to get one individual who is along the waterfront by the Dolphin Fountain, very well known. He got into Dignity Moves yesterday, so we're really happy for him. Thank you to Liz for her advocacy constantly. Yeah, Mary's been working with this individual for a really long time, and it has a really great relationship with him, so we're glad that he was able to get go in doors. We were also at Better Beach earlier this morning. We were able to enroll one individual who's been in his vehicle since 2012. So, yeah, just making some connections with people that I personally hadn't seen before. We have one individual, a veteran along the waterfront as well, who we're actively working with and trying to connect him to veteran services. So, yeah, just continuing our outreach. Our evening and weekend team is on in full force from today through Sunday. And we can be reached between 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. So, yeah, just happy to be here. Thank you.
Apologies, I was muted. I said that was great. Thanks, Christina. I don't see anyone from Good Samaritan on the call.
Hey, Landon.
Go ahead, Bella.
Mind, I'm gonna hop back on. I just spoke. I saw her walk in right when we finished talking.
Right.
So our case manager, our case caseworkers said that we haven't gotten any more calls about State Street, about any vehicles being there for our safe parking. But if there is any outreach that needs to be done, we haven't gotten any outreach calls for this area recently. So if there's anything that we want me to put on our team's radar, and we can do some outreach next week.
Okay. Thank you, Bella.
Yeah, thanks.
We did hear that there's been less cars on Montecito Street. I don't know if that's something that New Beginnings was instrumental in accomplishing that, but
Yeah, our caseworkers have been going to Montecito quite a bit, doing a lot of outreach there, passing out a lot of flyers, giving a lot of information about our program, and we have gotten a few enrolled in safe parking, actually.
oh, that's
Gotten a
good.
few to our lots.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Bella. And we've talked about this on these calls quite a bit. So even though it may not be currently an issue in the downtown area, vehicular homelessness is just a huge concern countywide right now, and really statewide. It's just grown quite a bit since the pandemic. So if you're seeing that at all, please know we're all aware of it, and we're trying to figure out solutions for the growth. Let's see, I don't see anyone else on the call from our outreach providers. Joao was on the call earlier, and he shared this link that I just pasted in the chat window. This is for our community members. If you need to report an encampment or an individual in need within the city limits, there is this SB Connect app, and you can also just use this URL to make those reports.
I guess I'll jump in since Joao might have lost his connection. We are confirming that there is a significant rain event coming next week into town. I think we still don't know the exact dates because it's still, a week away. But I have confirmed with Lucille that the activations for the winter shelter are for the Freedom Warming Centers will be on the 15th. So that will be the first day. That's when we think the rain's going to start. So it'll be their first activation, and they should be sending out announcements on Monday for that. So be on the lookout. And I have a question into Path to see if they'll be opening up their winter shelter, their inclement weather beds. So I'll share that if I get that information. Joao's team has posted at encampments that are on the creeks that would be at risk if we get significant rain. So we'll be working on clearing out any of those that are in direct path of flooding.
Thanks, Liz. Appreciate being proactive on that. All right, so with that, why don't we go ahead and open it up for community members to share any areas of concern or questions you might have.
I have a question for Bella. Since I've been absent for the last, few months, I'm just curious about, progress with safe parking, because I see that as such a great opportunity, as a something in between living in the bushes and maybe bridge housing like Dignity Moves. It just seems like such a great opportunity to really, welcome people into, an environment where they get services and, transitional opportunities. So, I know the parking lot down on Carrillo is closing down probably sometime soon because they're going to be building new housing authority project on that.
It's actually not until the end of 2024, so we have that location for another year, which is great.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I go home on Carrillo Street, so I spend a lot of time checking that out, and it's I know it's a great resource. But just kind of want to get the State of the Union address on how things are going with safe parking, and is there, it just, I don't know. I love the concept of expanding and throwing resources at it.
Yeah, no, safe parking is, we're continuing to work really hard and pound the pavement, but we really are seeing a continued increasing need for parking lots and spaces for our folks who are experiencing vehicular homelessness. The numbers just keep increasing, and the need to work with those community partners in getting those lots to offer them a safe space so that we can offer case management and all the other wraparound services we have. And also with our wonderful community partners, who many of them are here, to get them those extra services. It's all about getting them a safe place to sleep at night, to not have to worry about increasing bills from, you know, tickets and being harassed and the other experiences they have. So it's just, if we can keep trying to find more parking lots and parking spaces and making more connections with community partners will be key.
Landon.
Hey, June, good to see you.
Yeah, hi, Landon. I'm just wondering about Hope. I have friends that live on Hope Avenue in the housing there and have had increased incidents of crime on their street and just being disconcerted by all the people that seem to be, I don't know if they're living in vehicles and living on that street.
So, don't know if anybody, oh, sorry, I don't know if that was directed at New Beginnings.
Yeah, I would say either Liz or Bella, if one of you wants to.
Yeah,
I know
well,
you've both been working on it.
yeah, it's definitely been, June, you're correct. But it's not just Hope Street, it's across the board all over the South County. It's an issue that's becoming crisis level. So we are aware of that. New Beginnings has been working diligently, as Bella has mentioned, that, you know, doing the outreach and the engagement. One of the initiatives that SB Act has taken on as part of its South County collaborative is also identifying more safe parking locations. So Barbara's working with New Beginnings to find ways of expanding the number of locations that can be offered. But this is a challenge that's happening across the board. City of Goleta, Carpinteria, throughout the county. We're not alone in that experience. So we all recognize the critical need to find safe parking locations for people to offer.
Is
Barbara,
there,
you wanna add on?
Sorry, June, I just wanted to add, I'm in regular communication with a number of residents in the Hope Avenue area, so happy to loop you or others into that communication. We have litter pickup now every single day along Hope Avenue, and we have power washing 3 times a week. We notice every item that's outside of a vehicle for the 72-hour notice that's required by our ordinance. We also have to offer a number of warnings for vehicles before citations can be issued. And also a number of vehicles do not meet the threshold for our oversized vehicle ordinance. So I just want to say that Bella and the Safe Parking Program is their top priority in terms of outreach and receptivity to services, especially for people who are vulnerable and experiencing vehicular homelessness. But enforcement goes along with that. So we are doing both. It's a priority region for us and our partners. And yeah, we don't have the data to back up the uptick in crime that you're sharing with us. So happy to connect with you offline about that as well.
Okay, thank you. I have a single friend that lives in the housing there that's just been, I mean, it becomes an issue, so she doesn't feel safe. And so it's helpful to know how much effort you're putting into trying to make it safe.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but 2 cars were towed actually at the beginning of this week, again over a period of them being abandoned and not being able to move. So we do make every attempt for outreach first. If there isn't receptivity and there's continuing violation of our municipal code and law, we do take steps forward on that.
Thank you so much. What you just said is really helpful. I'll pass it along.
Also, as we're talking about looking for parking lots, it sounds, from my understanding from talking to the Safe Parking team, it sounds like especially lots that can accommodate RVs and especially lots that are like within 2 miles of the downtown area, because those are the two of the biggest factors that will really encourage people to want to utilize the lots.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Landon. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I wanted to add as well. The RVs, that's what we really need. We are so grateful for the parking lots that we do have, but we do need more parking lots and spaces that will accommodate RVs and RVs of all size. As right now we are seeing quite a few RVs, and these are RVs belonging to Santa Barbara natives, people who are living here, from here, family, community here. This is where where they are working, where their families work, where their kids go to school. So yeah, we definitely need more lots that can accommodate the RVs, for sure. Thank you so much, Landon.
And I hate to exhaust this, but we are getting a number of community concerns regarding vehicular homelessness across the city. To really emphasize Bella's point, this is their home, right? So we don't want to take enforcement action at all possible resort. So we really just want to support them as much as we can. We are dealing with an exponentially increasing number of people who cannot afford housing here, and this is their second resort.
Barbara,
Mary?
has there been any thought of a permanent, we've got Dignity Moves, but is there something, a place that could be like that kind of a thing for people that are having to live in their RVs?
The city of Santa Barbara is moving forward to try to expand the number of available daytime safe parking program spaces. There are additional dignity moves like units going into La Posada, which is where the old juvenile hall is, in the next, I think 12 months maximum, which would be at 80 units, I believe. We also have permanent affordable housing. Veracruz Village just opened up and placed 28 individuals there, and then Buena Tierra's, I think January, and that's 58 units. So we actually have more housing and more interim housing in the queue than we ever have, but the need is always greater than what we're able to keep up with. So yeah, we have a number of longer term solutions that have actually been in place and are coming to fruition, I would say quite frequently over the next 12 to 18 months.
Mary?
Hi, this is kind of to Bella, and I was wondering if, do we have safe parking in Goleta? I mean, is that an option? I say this because of my own experience in, off of Stork Road, where the Albertsons is and the DMV. That parking lot is very big, and I already know that there are multiple people who, some in RVs, I am noticing RVs coming in. But is that a possibility to maybe approach that particular area? Has that ever been thought of, like in that particular lot?
I'm not sure about that particular lot. I can ask our senior programs director who works more with our partners who are offering the lots. But in terms of Goleta, we do have lots in Goleta, Isla Vista, all the way up to North County and Lompoc. And we are working with our community partners in Goleta as well as city officials. So, but we are always looking for more lots. So I wrote that down, and I'll reach out to our senior programs manager who works more directly with them, and we can see if she's done some property owner outreach over there to see if that's an option. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're seeing the same need in Goleta. A lot of RVs, folks living in their RVs, and Goleta has a different complex barriers that as opposed to Santa Barbara. We're just seeing different barriers there in terms of parking and parking needs.
I missed the location that Mary said.
She said Stork Road?
Yes, and it's where Albertsons and the DMV is.
Ah, ooh.
Do you mean Pacific?
Planet Fitness.
Like on Pacific?
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough sell right now with the neighborhood. They're riled up about Pacific Oaks.
There's a lot going on with Pacific Oaks and also with city ordinances there. So we've been in a lot of communications about that, and we've done a lot of outreach over there as well. There's less incentives as for our parkers in Santa Barbara. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that.
Any other updates or community concerns? Go ahead, Robin.
Thank you so much, Landon, and I'm glad that we have some opportunities with the safe parking, but I'll consider what I hear about in terms of maybe parking lots or something of that nature. What I wanted to share was we've been experiencing some challenges with some individuals with mental health challenges in the 500 block area. It's an ongoing situation, but the reason why I'm re-bringing it up is that there's a new business that's opened at 515 State Street. It used to be Paxty's and now it's SB Pizza House. They have some significant concerns just to keep their business alive and, you know, attract new customers when they're trying to do something new. Often the person either undresses or sorts out their materials in the middle of the street. I know you guys are aware of this, but this is particularly strong situation with a brand new business that's trying to, you know, get things in order. So that's one element. And then also having quite a number of new people who have mental illness walking the streets and screaming a lot of different things in the last several weeks. And some of it's pretty scary. And some, what they're saying is, you know, they're wanting to kill people and things in that direction. And then people will, you know, hear them from far away and all go out to look. And so these are pretty strong situations. They pass through and they keep walking here and there, but those have been happening more frequently in the last 2 weeks with people I haven't seen before. So I'm not sure if you've heard similar complaints or issues around that. And I haven't been able to, you know, feel like I can get close enough to take a picture. Certainly I can call, but they're not necessarily like harming someone specifically. So there's that. Any thoughts or how I should best address some of these things?
Are the people that are screaming also in the 500 block, or is this a different location?
No, it's a different location. So they're moving through. From where I've seen them is between probably the 600 block and the 1000 block. So walking that corridor there. At least that's where I've been when I've seen them, because that's where I frequent most.
And Liz, I don't know what's possible with the MDRT or Be Well in terms of evening outreach. I know the county has claimed that they do special deployments. But the first individual that Robin is speaking of, the behavior worsens over the course of the day and the evening. So they might engage with this person during the day and think that they don't meet the threshold, but over the evening hours, he does. So it's just another kind of way to hopefully prioritize their attention of when they engage.
Does any of the service providers here know who we're talking about? Can we discuss further after when we go into the case conferencing section?
I'm sure
I think I might know you.
Yeah.
I think I might know who you're referring to.
Okay. Great. Well, we'll talk about that. And then the people screaming, are they one person, two people? Do you have a general description?
There's been 3 different people, a woman, a man who's probably in his 50s, white. He tends to look around the bushes kind of really erratically and then moves on and screams about something else and moves on. It's one description. The woman is probably also in her mid-50s, also white, usually has a lot of bags with her, and has a cart, a smaller cart, not the full-size cart. And then there was one other person that I've seen that looked like, I don't know if I can describe that person. It's been a little bit. So those are the 2 people I can describe. Thanks for listening, everybody.
No, I appreciate that.
Well, can I just chime in here because, you know, I think this has been some component of my mission in trying to find a win-win in the in the equation of struggling with being compassionate and providing services and housing for people who are struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues that are unsheltered, and at the same time dealing with public health and safety issues that all of our community desires. And I think, Landon, it might be great to have a meeting to talk about where is the line between outreach and intervention. And I do feel sometimes that the balance is tipped too far towards outreach, because I'm all of what the metrics are of this problem, and the individuals who are unsheltered and living on the street and chronically homeless are, they need our help and they need our guidance. And it's not a situation where we have to, or we should lead them, provide them with an opportunity to be in charge of their program, because their program is vodka and the bushes or something worse. So, sorry to push the conversation in that direction, but I do think it's something that we avoid. And I definitely think it's really where the problem, where we could have the greatest impact.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, I've almost been holding off because I'm waiting to see sort of where things land with all this new state legislation and what that's going to look like in our county, because we know there are those individuals who are going to meet the criteria where they're going to be sort of mandated to receive services for some individuals. And so that, I think that is a good idea of just, we should be talking about what is the defining line between services and then what is going to be required in the future, because we know there are some individuals that we're seeing that are very much going to be in that category. So
yeah, there's the CARES court that will hopefully be implemented. It's supposed to take effect in 2024, but I'm not sure how long the county court system will take to implement the CARE courts. That's the one where people can be referred to the court system to mandate medical services for people with certain schizophrenic disorders. So that's coming online in the near future. Recently, the governor signed SB 43, which reduces a little bit of the threshold for 5150 holds. I don't have the language in front of me, but that's another tool that will that changes the definition of gravely disabled. So that will give people a little bit more ability to also give us a little bit more of that balance that you're talking about between outreach and getting people the care that they need and are not capable of getting for themselves. So there are some things coming online that we needed it yesterday.
Well, I'm very enthusiastic about the expansion of conservatorship, and that's a very expensive process. There's lots of money that is required for conservatorship, but I'm a huge fan of that. Care court, as an attorney, I have to say it seems like a fool's errand. I mean, simply because we're talking about people who are disabled, and there is no there is no consequence if they say, "Oh, I don't want to go to court." There is zero consequence if they say, "Well, I'm not going to court. Make me." And these are people who are struggling with schizophrenia, and it's like, okay, I mean, hello, of course they're not going to go to court. So there's absolutely no hook there, zero.
Well,
So
curious, I know the state is
like,
also
completely magical thinking, but help me if I got that wrong.
you know, it will be interesting to see what the CARES court looks like, because it did get modified significantly from what the governor proposed. So
well,
yeah, it will be
I can
interesting.
tell you
to see.
behavioral wellness doesn't get it either. I mean, at least, you know, with respect to just talking to the various resources there. So it just seems like a distraction.
There was also an
distraction.
interesting article in the Independent today about some new good news in the behavioral wellnesses realm. Looks like that long promised CSU unit is finally going to come online early next year.
I saw that. That's good. That is good news. And you know, our 5150 program has been broken forever, right?
Yeah.
So anything
might,
any progress there, I'm happy to see. And Nick's a good, you know, he's a good researcher. So I did enjoy that article for sure.
Yeah, it was. So it's interesting, and hopefully, if they can get, they said the possibility of getting 20 puff units instead of 16.
Yes,
I saw that today too. Yeah, that's good news.
yeah,
And thank you for bringing it up, Gordon. I think obviously you can tell there's some strong situations that need to be addressed, not only downtown, but elsewhere, but they become quite visible there. And it's hard to navigate the revitalization of downtown when this is kind of an ongoing part of the story, as you know. But
yes.
Robin, is the guy that undresses, is he also the same guy that he waves fire things around?
I haven't seen him wave fire, but I've seen him wave items. I haven't personally seen the fire.
There's a young guy that I was fascinated watching him on that same block, and he was kind of fire dancing. It was kind of impressive, but at the same time, like, oh.
Yeah, he's in his maybe 20s, early 20s.
Okay, might be the same.
I think it's probably the same guy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So this is a good motivation for me to try and pull something together. So let me think on that and get back to you all. We are at time, and I want to make sure we have a little bit of an opportunity to talk to just the service providers so that we can actually talk about people by name. So I do want to say thank you to community members for coming out, and we'll see you hopefully at the walk on the 29th, the Waterfront area.
So appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks, Gordon.
Thanks, all.
Thank you.